many people, Leica cameras mean Leica lenses. And there are several reasons for this. First, obviously, just being that we trust Leica, who makes these awesome cameras, to make awesome lenses as well. But there's also reasons like investment, because when you buy a used Leica lens, it's typically going to retain its value for the life that you have it. So for that reason, it's a pretty safe purchase. Even though it's typically a bigger purchase, it's safe in regards that if you ever need to get out of it, you typically will be able to get out of it what you have in it, again, if you are buying used. So Leica lenses can be a safe investment. And I don't feel like I have to make a case for Leica lenses. If you're watching this video and you are a Leica photographer, you probably have Leica lenses and you can make your own case for them. You totally get it, because we love these lenses. My 35 Summilux is my forever go-to lens. Now, historically, there have been other great lens manufacturers who have made fantastic M-mount lenses, companies like Zeiss and Voigtländer. Those companies make fantastic lenses as well, and they typically run anywhere between like a 1/10 to like an 1/8 of the price of a Leica lens, which makes them very popular with Leica photographers. And then over the last several years, we've had other lens manufacturers pop up, companies that are doing like historical lines like Light Lens Lab. You also have companies like Thypoch, who we're gonna talk about today, who have just kind of hit the scene in the last few years making M-mount lenses. Now, for those that don't know, this is not a new company. This is DZO, who makes cinema glass for PL mount, Sony, or wherever they are right now. But Thypoch is their M lens lineup, and honestly guys, it's a pretty impressive line of lenses. You might remember back in the fall, YouTube became like run wild with the 28 and the 35 1.4. Basically, anyone who was doing anything with M lenses was showcasing this line of lenses. And they had reached out to me as well, but we just couldn't land in a good place at the time to do a collaboration, and that was all good, moved on from it. And then at the first of the year, a viewer from this channel, and also a member of our very good Discord, all that's linked below, had messaged me and asked if they could send me this 28 1.4. I took this lens to the desert on a meetup that I led back in February, and this was the only lens I shot on my M11 for my 3 or 4 days in the desert. And I gotta be honest, like the corner to corner sharpness, even at 1.4, was pretty freaking impressive. I've tried other lenses at this price point and not really ever been too happy with them, and I would never choose them over my Leica lenses, but 1.4 28 is a lens I do not have. And so using this was pretty shocking at how good it actually was. I was actually kind of like sad to admit how good it was because of the way things went down last fall. I was also really impressed just by the build quality of this lens. It is a very, very nice lens. Then later on in the spring, I went to NAB, which is a major conference down in Las Vegas, and I got to meet the team from Thypoch and have some great conversations with them about their lens line and the things that they are doing, and just reconnected with them. And they told me they were getting ready to launch version 2 of the 1.4 28, which I thought was kind of wild because I think this just came out like a year ago, and here we are with version 2. And when I got back from NAB, they sent version 2 over for me to just try and experience, and everything that I loved about version 1 is in version 2. In fact, the brand has confirmed with me that they did not change the optics at all, but what they did has a lot of significance and meaning, and it's not just because of the design, it's because of what it implies. And honestly guys, that's what this video really is going to be about, because when we look at version 1 and version 2, they are going to make the exact same photos, but the difference is with the infinity lock. Because version 1 has an infinity lock, which if you are like me, get really annoyed by because I don't like infinity lock on lenses. Version 2 has a focus tab. They removed the infinity lock and they added a focus tab. They also told me that they cut 1 millimeter off of the back of the lens just to make it a little more visually pleasing, and that's awesome. Don't even see it, don't notice it. It's not really important for me, but that focus tab is a big deal. Now, like I said, it's not necessarily because of it making the lens a better lens, it's because it makes it a better experience. But more importantly, it means that this is a brand that is listening to their customer base, that are getting feedback and making changes, even if it means making fast changes between two lenses in the same line. Like, they could have waited 3 years and launched a version 2 while milking version 1 to death, but they didn't. They went ahead and launched version 2, updated the lens to make their users happier, and they got this version 2 out into the wild. And it, for me, is just a way better experience because I love focus tabs. In fact, I've got rubber focus tabs on the lenses I have that don't have focus tabs. Like, I mentioned this Zeiss Biogam before. It doesn't have a focus tab, and I need a focus tab. So I put this little rubber focus tab on it. Gets the job done, much better experience. But the point I'm making here and what I wanted to tell you today is this brand here, Thypoch, they are listening to their customers, they are getting feedback, and they're making lenses that we want. And I think there's a ton of value in that. All of the photos that you've been seeing throughout this video were made on the 28mm 1.4 at various apertures, and they just look fantastic. Like, I have zero complaints mixing up this lens amongst my Leica lenses or any other lens that I would use in a gallery because it sits right along inside of that gallery with no problem. Now, I've mentioned that they are a brand who are seeking active feedback from their customers. I'm gonna prove this another way because I asked them if I could share this with you, any details on this. They told me no, but I currently have a lens that they are working on, and it is pretty freaking awesome, surprising, and I can't wait till they'll let me talk about it. But this is a lens that they sent me that they could have hyped up a ton and had me talk about it today in this video, which is what I kind of wanted to do. But instead, they only have it to me right now so that I could send them feedback so they can retool and update this lens to make it as good as possible. And I just really appreciate that. They're not just sitting in their lab or with a bunch of engineers trying to crank out lenses. They're trying to make their user base happy and have a great experience. And when the day comes, I can talk about the lens that I've got right behind me here in this drawer. I will be super stoked to talk about it because it is really cool. But the point is, guys, they are listening to their customers, and there's a lot of value in that. So we've been talking about this 28mm Thypoch lens, but I want to talk for just a minute about 28 in general, because historically that is not a focal length that I've used much on my M camera, but I used it a ton on my Q2 when I had that camera multiple times. And if you're not new to this channel, you'll know that the 35 Summilux and this 35 in general is typically my go-to focal length. But coming into this year, and specifically with this lens at the beginning of the year, I've really been shooting 28 a lot more and learning to love 28. In fact, it's probably been the lens that I've shot the most this whole year, whether it's been on film or digital, whether it's been traveling or just at home. And I've really grown to love 28mm so much that on a trip that I was recently on, I basically shot 28 the entire time again, and I made a photo on a 28 that I am just so stoked on. And I'm also just really inspired right now after meeting David Brookke over in Jackson, Wyoming, which is where I was. This guy educated me on printing, the importance of printing, all the processes of printing, spent a lot of time with him, got to experience his gallery, and just honestly, printing is an art form that is really becoming lost. And I think I was really motivated and inspired to get more serious about printing, because the reality is I have a printer back here that I bought last year, and I bought it mostly to print family photos, and I haven't even really done that. So I'm trying to take printing more serious. And for that reason, today I'm going to launch a print of a photo that I made at 28mm just recently on that trip in Jackson. It's probably one of my most favorite moments, and it turned into such a beautiful monochromatic photo that I'm gonna offer it to you today as a print on my shop. I'm gonna link it right below. There's something to be said about holding a photo in your hands. This one here, this moment from Grand Teton, with the clouds breaking up and light coming through after a rainy day. It is honestly one of my favorite photos I have ever made. And I've printed 30 of these at 13x19, just 30. They are available, linked below on my shop. Every one of them will get a number and a signature. And I'm gonna put that on the back so that you can frame this however you want and not have that, messing up your print at all. These two are test prints done by my local print shop. They are printing the final versions right now, but they are on archival paper with archival ink. Printed with care and cut with care with a small white border on it so you can frame it however you want. By buying a print, you are supporting this channel, you're supporting my business and my ability to continue to make photos. And also you get something cool to put on your wall. So if you have any interest in this print, 30 of them available, link is right below. Check it out. If you want to check out Thypoch's new 28 1.4 version 2 with the focus tab, I've got a link below that you can learn more about this lens. It is super affordable. And if you're looking for a 28 1.4, unless you're bringing like $5,000, $6,000 on the used market or $7,000 or $8,000 on the new market for a 28 Summilux, I really believe this is your best option and best bet. So check out the link below and learn more about the 28 1.4 version 2 from Thypoch. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you're stoked about this line of lenses and this brand in general, because I'm really stoked about it. I can't wait to see what else they're going to do, and I really can't wait to share with you the lens that I have in here. I'm teasing it out too much. Sorry about that. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit like. If you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.